Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tech Gamers World. So I went ahead and did something really crazy. I went and ordered every single retro Nintendo console and system available on DK Oldies retro game website. My orders arrived today and I am super excited to check them out and share them with you. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. Let's do this. Okay everyone, welcome back. So here is my order from DKOldies.com. This is almost every retro Nintendo video game, console, and system available. There was only a couple from their website that I could not find. So I'm going to unbox them now. So DKOldies.com is an online retro video game store that's located in Pennsylvania. They specialize in carrying old school Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, Xbox, systems and games, and much more. They're an awesome website. I've been looking at their stuff for years, and this is the first time I ever bought anything. So I'm super excited. So before I bust these boxes open, let's talk a little bit here about why I bought every single retro Nintendo video game system and console that they had in stock. The simple answer is I wanted them. I am looking to build out my video game console collection with some retro stuff. And unfortunately, when I was a kid and I had some of these systems, I didn't keep them. As I had like a Nintendo and then I upgraded to a Super Nintendo, eventually I got rid of the regular Nintendo thinking I'd never play it again. And unfortunately, that means now I had to get them from different sources. But that's okay. I am super pumped about this. So this here is two orders. The bigger box contains most of the consoles that I ordered. The smaller box contains most of the Game Boys and the Nintendo DS and the 3DS that I ordered. The DKOldies.com unfortunately did not have two of the systems that I wanted. They did not have the Game Boy Color or the Virtual Boy, so I'll be having to get those from a different source. But that is okay. So as you can see, the boxes are your standard shipping boxes. The bottom order here, the box is a little bashed. I am not blaming DK Oldies for that. I'm pretty sure that was done via handling because I watched the lady take it off the FedEx truck, and I'm pretty sure that was that way. It looks like the side of the box is just pushed in a little bit here, but that's okay. I'm sure everything inside is fine. So let's go ahead here and start opening up the bigger box. Put this to the side for a minute. So I love everything video games. Nintendo being my favorite of all the video game systems. I am a huge Nintendo fan. Everything about Nintendo. Currently, my favorite video games are anything Legend of Zelda. So that's why I've just always been a big Nintendo fan. Been playing them since forever, basically. And then when I found DK Oldies, their website really impressed me. They have tons of stuff. I could go on for an hour about what they have on their website, and you should really check it out. I'll post the link to their website in the description for this video. So let's go ahead here and open up this box. So I ordered consoles only. I didn't need controllers or anything like that because I'm not actually going to play these systems. I am basically going to use them for display here. So let's see how it's packed here. They put some used cardboard material in the packs to prevent damage to the top. Looks like old shipping boxes, which is pretty cool. Looks like they were run through a shredder. It's a good way to recycle. Let's go ahead and just get all these off to the side here. Hopefully DK Oldies actually sent me some stuff here, not just a box of chewed up old boxes. Nah, I'm kidding. I see the stuff down in the bottom here. So we'll go ahead here and pull this out. This is my order form and the quality control sheet here. So as you can see here, everything is packed and ordered, and it shows everything that I ordered. All right. There's everything. Let's go ahead here. I will say that DK Oldies packed this really well. There's a ton of packing material on the top, and it looks like some on the bottom here. All right, so let's get this started. We'll pretty much go through, I'm going to try and go through in order here based on oldest to newest. Should be pretty easy to figure out here. Let's see here. That looks like a Super Nintendo. Okay. Here is the Nintendo, the original Nintendo Entertainment System that I ordered. Now, this was a console only, and I paid $79.99 for it. So let's open it up here. And this was said to be acceptable condition. So let's see here and checking this out. This looks to be in actually really, really good condition. It looks like there are a couple of little dings on it. One pretty noticeable in the front there, but that's okay. No free game inside, unfortunately. Looks really clean. I can actually fix this. I'm pretty good with plastics. I can fix this little ding here. I'm not concerned about that. Same thing for this one. All the ports look to be there. Everything looks to be in good order. There is a serial number on the bottom. All the original stickers. And we have a DK Oldies sticker on it. We have the 2 ports for the controllers where you put in the game. Stays down. So this was worth definitely the $80 that I spent. I did some comparable shopping for online, and DK Oldies was actually the cheapest here. So let's go ahead here and put this one aside. This is the Nintendo Entertainment System. Next up on our list is going to be I'm going to go ahead here and do the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. So that means I have to go ahead here and open up this other box here. I'm going to be very careful not to slice any of the interior stuff. I'm done with this knife, so I'll go ahead and close that up. And let's open this box up and see how well this was packed. Here is my order. And more information. So let's see, there's a bunch of stuff in here. We got some chargers. This looks like the DS or a 3DS. Here is the original Game Boy. So we're going to start out with this one here. Let's go ahead and put this off to the side. So the Game Boy was released shortly after the Nintendo Entertainment System here. And we're going to go ahead and open this one up. The Game Boy came out in 1989. The Nintendo Entertainment System came out in 1983. So there is a 6-year difference there. A little longer than I thought. To date myself, I was only 1 when the Nintendo Entertainment System came out. So here is the original Game Boy. This one has the plastic film on the front and looks to be in really excellent condition. The back sticker here is a little worn, but that's okay. It's really in excellent condition. The battery modules, there's no connectors, there's no corrosion or any wear really at all. So this was the Game Boy. This was said to be in acceptable condition and cost me $110 on DK Oldies, and it is definitely in very excellent condition here. Screen looks to be in perfect condition, and all the original colors are bright and vivid. And looks like the toggle switch up there for the power on and off is working. A little bit of fading up here. Really no yellowing on the case itself, which is surprising for a system this old. Usually these plastics start to yellow from skin, you know, holding it like this. You would be holding it like this, so you'd be sweating here, and it would transfer to here and here. This is really nice. So they make an excellent addition to my collection here. So this is the Nintendo Game Boy. Moving on to the next system, we are going to go ahead and open up the Super Nintendo. This came out after the Game Boy. This came out in 1990. Here is the Super Nintendo. I can tell it just by looking at it because of the distinct purple here. So this is the Super Nintendo, and I paid $99.99 for this, and it is said to be in acceptable condition. So let us see what it looked like. Wow, this is actually really great condition. The reset button works, the power on, off. The port looks very clean inside. The power switch must be off before loading or removing a game pack. Sticker is still here, a little bit worn. You can tell because it was sitting out. The eject button feels solid, and I can see inside, if you see there, it raises up to push up the game cartridge. We have the ports for the controllers, look to be good. No rusting inside. It has the DK Oldies sticker. They have the port there for the extension stuff. We've got a serial number, the Super NES control deck, SNS001, so we know it's an original. Put that back on. On the back, we have the multi-out, the RF out, and the AC adapter for power in, channel 3, channel 4. So if you remember, there were two ways to basically connect this to a TV back in the day. While if you look at the Nintendo console, they really only had this way and this way. So they had two ways as well. So the Super Nintendo did away with the red and yellow in terms of I believe this was a coax cable, or an antenna similar cable, and the multi-out. So as you can see, the technology started to advance as they moved along. And this is just a 7-year difference. All right, so we've got the Nintendo, the Game Boy, the Super Nintendo opened up here. Let's go ahead next, and we're going to do everybody's favorite console, the Nintendo 64. Should be easy to find in here, given that it was black. And here it is. This was my favorite video game system as a kid, mainly because it brought out Legend of Zelda back to a whole new generation of players with Ocarina of Time. So this is the Nintendo 64 console only. I paid $69.99 for this. So let's go ahead here and take a look. So this was said to be in acceptable condition as well. It looks to be okay. It's got a little bit of damage here on the port for the first connector, the controller. The power switch seems to work. This one's got a little bit of scratching on it. The port itself for the game looks to be good. The back, which had the insert for the power supply, looks to be in good condition. And the multi-out had the same multi-out the Super Nintendo used. As we can see, we've got all the screws in here. Actually, one's missing there. Let's see, this here looks good. So I'm going to say that I'm not going to say that this is acceptable. This is poor to acceptable. The scratching leaves a lot to be desired. But I'll see if I can buff that out. They don't look deep. Might be able to buff that out here. Expansion card. So this card was to take the video game system from 4 megs up to 8 megs, if I remember correctly. And this had to be in here to play it. If you took this out, you could not play. This was the memory. If you bought the expansion pack, that basically doubled the memory in the system from 4 megs up to 8 megs. And helped you play a lot more games smoother. They even helped bump some of the resolution in some of the games towards the end of the lifespan of the Nintendo 64 there. So here is the Nintendo 64. This was first released in 1996 and, like I said, was one of my favorite video game systems. So we'll go ahead here and put this one aside. Next on our list, we have the GameCube. The GameCube came out in 2001. Now, unfortunately, I am skipping over the Game Boy Color because DK Oldies did not have one in stock at the time of purchase. But that's okay. Nor did they have the Virtual Boy as well. So let's see here. GameCube should be, I'm going to say it's this one. Let's see what we have here. So this one is the GameCube. And this one does have some stickers all over it. This was rated as acceptable, and I paid $80 for it. This one is going to look like it's definitely going to need a little bit of cleanup here, but nothing I can't handle. I'll pull these stickers off. Someone customized this one a little bit here. Coloring looks good. It's got a Star Wars sticker on it. As you can see, it'll peel right off. I like Star Wars, so I'm cool with that. The power button works. The reset button, I can hear it works. The GameCube pops open. The laser is there. The GameCube was Nintendo's first foray into, CDs, and it didn't last long, obviously. I would say that the GameCube was one of my least favorite systems besides the Virtual Boy. Virtual Boy should never have existed. But at the same time, it was a very ambitious venture by Nintendo to enter into the virtual reality. But the technology and the users at the time just weren't ready for it. So this one has a digital AV out and an analog AV out. So you can see the technology changes from the Nintendo 64. It's got the carrying handle. It has the adapter spots down here for the power supply and all that. And these actually should just pull right off. Yep, these are going to come right off. These are just plastic things someone put on here. We'll get all those pulled off and cleaned up. I wonder if someone specifically bought these for a GameCube because they look like they're fit pretty perfectly. So that's cool. GameCube had 4 controllers available, and then you had the different slots here, the plug-in modules. You can see that it had a fan, which was, I think, a first for the Nintendo consoles. I don't think the Nintendo 64 had one, if I remember correctly. It did not. And the GameCube did. The fans are used from a technology point of view to dissipate heat from the processors and the memory systems, because you need to get rid of that excess heat, and you can't leave it inside the case because it'll wear the components or slow the whole system down. You can see there's radiators inside there. So this looks to be in pretty good condition minus the stickers, which I will ignore because that will all come off. I'm not going to ding DK Oldies for that. A little bit of rubbing alcohol and just some finger or grease will pull all that right off. So this was, again, rated as acceptable, and I paid $80 for it, which is pretty cool. Next up on the list, we have the Game Boy Advance. So let's go ahead and find that now here. That's the 3DS. This looks like the DS. Let's put that down in here for a minute. Yep. This is the DS. So here is the Game Boy Advance. This one is rated to be in acceptable condition, and you can see the size difference and the technology changes between the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance. Here, we'll flip this closed. You can see about the same thickness, but the flip cover, became a thing. So the Game Boy Advance came out in 2001, and I paid for this system $140. And this came with a charger, and this was rated as acceptable. Now, I like this one a lot. It's got the DK Oldies sticker on it. The back has a little bit of scratching. Nothing that probably just can't be buffed out. Not really noticeable. It's got the slot for the games here. It's looking good. Off, on. Yeah, this one actually turns on. Look at that. So we know this one works. This is the Game Boy Advanced SP. This is the Platinum Silver with charger. So it's obviously waiting for something to load, but nothing's going to load because there's no games installed. So on the back here, you have the connectors for charging. So this is pretty cool here. Super pumped about this one for my collection. We'll go ahead and switch that off. And we'll go ahead and close it. So very nice. Next up on the list, we have the Wii. So let's go ahead and find that here. We'll move this off to the side. This should be the Wii. Let's go see here. So this was rated as acceptable, and I paid $50 for this one. So I'm not sure what this is actually going to look like here. This is the console only. So here is the Wii. Actually looks to be in really acceptable condition. No controllers or anything like that. I did not need anything like that. Again, this is just going to be for display. So this looks to be in very good condition. You should feel the weight on this one compared to the other systems. They really stepped up their game here. Compared to the GameCube, this one's got a good amount of weight on it. So on the back here, we've got your standard power plug, the 12-volt input, the AV video out. This was the first system to introduce USB ports. And we've got a sensor bar, because the sensor bar, if you remember correctly, was that bar that you would have to mount on top of your TV or cabinet to essentially so it could see you. So when you were doing things like Wii Sports and stuff like that, it could know where you were. And on here, we've got inputs for the controllers. So actually it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it went right to left. Used to go left to right on the other systems. And memory cards. Slot A, slot B. And we can see where the fan is in there. A little fan to dissipate the heat. And another one here. Actually, that might not be. Actually, it looks like there's a fan in there. Yeah, there's one here, definitely. So the fan, the same premise as before, to dissipate the heat from the processor and the systems and expel it out into the room and the ambient air. So this one is in very good condition. This was noted as acceptable and was only $50. So this is really cool. I like it a lot, and it's going to make a great addition to my collection. Here, let's go ahead and see what's next. Next is the Nintendo DS Silver Handheld System with charger. I paid $100 for this one. So let's go ahead here and find it in this box. This looks like the Nintendo DS. It is. So this one looks to be in semi-decent condition. It's got some scratches and pitting on the plastic here. The screen looks to be in acceptable condition. The buttons all feel like they work. This one actually has power as well because I tested these. So as we can see here, I'll bring it up a little closer. This one turns on. Sorry if you see the flash on the camera here. This one looks like it's working. Looks to be in excellent condition here. The date says it's February of 2000. Nice. There's no DS card inserted. Obviously, there's no game pack inserted, of course. So this one looks like it is in good condition as well. Just needs a little bit of cleanup here. So we have the L on the right, left and right buttons. Clicking feels what I'd expect for analog. These are essentially, analog switches. Basically is what they are. Pull out the little stylus here. Looks to be good. Tip is there. You would insert your game in here. And here is the 5.2 volt in for the charger. And this is really cool. Just needs a little bit of cleanup. So this was rated as acceptable, and I paid $100 for this. And it came with a charger. Go ahead and turn it off now. Power button works. And we will put this one to the side. The Nintendo DS came out in 2004. Next up on the list is the successor to the DS, the Nintendo 3DS. And this one originally came in red. And this was noted as acceptable, and it came with a charger. And I paid $170 for this one. So this one has a little bit more scratches on it. You can see the infrared there. I believe that's what that was. Or a camera system. Let's see if this one turns on. It does not. But that's okay. The buttons all seem to work. Oh, there it goes. Came up. Nintendo 3DS, so both screens work. And you can see it's been reset. It's a little hard to hear the music. So we've got the left and the right buttons here. It's asking us to select a language. The touchscreen works. The 3D is all the way up. Tap next. So the touchscreen works. Hold your system is shown in the illustrations above. So it looks like to be in excellent condition. Speakers sound good. Screens look good. Here, this is really cool. This will make a nice addition to my collection. And I wouldn't quite say this is acceptable. It's poor to acceptable, given that the pretty heavy scratches to the finish, some chips, heavy scratch. It looks like someone took a pen or a key or something to this and scratched it all up. I'll try and buff some of that out. These did have wireless, but very basic wireless, obviously. The games will get inserted in the back here. And we have a 4.6 volt in charger. And I think this was the infrared. I'm going to say that those look like cameras there. So this is pretty cool. This is going to make for a nice addition to my collection. And again, this was the Nintendo 3DS, rated as acceptable. And I paid $170 from DK Oldies. So I'll go ahead here and turn this one off. And moving on. Last but not least is the Nintendo Wii U. Now this one I actually never had one of, but now I do. I had a gap in between when I played video games. I switched to PC for a long time after the Wii, so I never had a Wii U or a Switch up until, I would say, 2018. I went a little bit of a gap there, and then I jumped back into it again. So let's get this open here. This is the Wii U black console and the gamepad. The console I paid $120 for, and the gamepad I paid $140 for. So here we have the Wii U console. We'll start with this one first. Here, we'll put this down right there. So this is the Wii U console, and again, I paid $120 for this one, and this is rated as acceptable. Now, again, the plastic has a little bit of wear and tear on the finish here. Nothing that doesn't look like it can't be, buffed out. It's got the CD slot. It's got the USB ports, the SD card, the power, the disc eject. On the back here, we have HDMI out. This was great for, just connecting it to most of the modern TVs at the time had HDMI. The Wii U came out in 2012. And then we have the AC adapter here, the sensor bar. So they use the same kind of sensor that the Wii used that you would mount on front of your TV to see you with. And this one had a fan. So this is a mechanical fan designed to move air out of the system because they generated a lot of heat. The more systems, the graphic intensive that they are, the more faster CPU clock speeds and RAM, all that heat has to go somewhere. 2 USB ports. So this one is pretty cool. This is going to make a nice addition to my collection. So let's go ahead here and put this one aside. And last but not least is the Wii U gamepad only here. So I paid $140 for this. This is rated as acceptable. And this could stream to the Wii U console and is really in good condition. This one actually is very light compared to the Switch. This obviously, this design was the predecessor for the Switch. So I'm trying to keep it so you can actually see here, not see me. Really cool stuff here. Let's see if this one turns on. I doubt it will. This is a model WP-010 USA. So this is the North American region one. This has all the buttons. You can see that the gamepad, the joypad, the controllers here look like the ones for the Switch. I wouldn't be surprised if they basically kept the same exact design for the Switch. It looks like they're almost exactly the same. The gimbals and all that stuff inside feels the same too. I'm sure just the Switch obviously knows the newer versions of it. Home. So this is going to make a great addition to my collection here as well. So let's go ahead and put this one aside. Now, I believe that is it. So yes, it is. So through the magic of the internet, I'm going to go ahead here and lay out all of these devices, and we'll do a final recap. So let's do that now. Okay, so let's go ahead here and lay out everything that we have here today from DKOldies.com. So first we'll start with the original bad boy of the Nintendo genre, the Nintendo Entertainment System. We'll go ahead and put that right there. Next up on the list was number 2, the Game Boy. So let's go ahead here and put the Game Boy up next to its brother, the Nintendo. Next we'll do the Super Nintendo, the successor to the Nintendo Entertainment System. Following the Super Nintendo, we will bring out the Nintendo 64. Wants to join the party. So we'll go ahead here and put this one in. There's the Nintendo 64. Next up is the GameCube, Nintendo's first foray into CD-based systems, and only foray into CD-based systems, actually. So we'll put the Nintendo GameCube right there. Next up, we have the Game Boy Advanced. We put that one right there. Next up, we have the Wii. We'll go ahead and put the Wii right here. Next up, we have the Nintendo DS in silver. We'll go ahead and put that right here. Following the Nintendo DS is its brother, the Nintendo 3DS. We'll go ahead and put that one right here. This one's actually still on. We'll put the Nintendo 3DS right here. And next, and last but not least, is the Wii U. So we'll go ahead and put that one right here. And here is the Wii U, the gamepad only. We'll go ahead and put that right here. So I have a special treat to join the Nintendo brethren, the Nintendo Switch. And here it is now, the Nintendo Switch to join its video game brothers. So let's go ahead here and open this one up. I'm not going to go through a full description in this video of what a Nintendo Switch is and what's inside. You can look at the playlist on my YouTube channel for a unboxing video of the various Nintendo Switches. So let's go ahead here and attach the Joy-Cons to the Nintendo Switch. There's one. There's two. We'll go ahead here and add this to the collection. So as you can see, we have almost every Nintendo video game, console, and system laid out. We have the Nintendo Entertainment System, first released in 1983. The Game Boy, first released in 1989. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System, first released in 1990. I'm missing the Virtual Boy between the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64 because unfortunately DK Oldies did not have one available on its website at the time of purchase. But that's okay. We have the Nintendo 64, first released in 1996. Next, we should have the Game Boy Color, but unfortunately DK Oldies did not have one in stock at the time of purchase, so I will be acquiring that one shortly as well. We have the GameCube, first released in 2001. We have the Game Boy Advance, released in 2001 as well. The Wii, released in 2006. The Nintendo DS, released in 2004. The Nintendo 3DS, released in 2011. We have the Wii U, released in 2012. And lastly, the Nintendo Switch, first released in 2017. So this is my collection, all of which is from DKOldies.com, retro video game website. They are awesome, and if you were looking for any kind of old system, whether it's Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, Xbox, any kind of video game, definitely go ahead and check these guys out. They are just awesome. Super great support, super fast shipping. I ordered this stuff on a Friday. It came here on a Monday. So that's how quick stuff is delivered. Totally awesome. I think that their prices are very fair for what you get. As you can see, the build quality of what they sell is in definitely acceptable to new condition, which is totally awesome. And this is going to make a great addition to my video game collection. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. As always, please drop a comment on this video if there was something you would like to see. Go check out DKOldies.com. The link is in the description to this video. Please click that like button and subscribe to Tech Gamers World YouTube channel. I'm going to have new and exciting content coming soon. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I will see you around. Keep on gaming.